As a child, I would often be taken by my parents to Salford Market. My father would change his books and my mother would buy vegetables and other household items. So it's no surprise when, looking for a subject matter to paint, Salford Market appealed to me. One day whilst collecting images to paint of Salford Market, I looked around and behind me the new shopping centre seemed an ideal place for collect images and do paintings from, and this became my first obsession. At the time, Salford Shopping Centre was a hive of activity with lots of images that inspired me for my paintings. Families there, old people, a whole range of subject matter which I could now capture on canvas. It was no coincidence that at the same time Salford was being regenerated. Many of the terrace houses were being taken down and the communities moved outside Salford or into the flats next to the shopping centre. The people there were used to meeting up and used the shopping centre's benches as an ideal place to go in daytime where they could talk, chat and catch up with each other. These were the people I managed to catch and paint at this time and was an ideal subject matter. After doing a series of painting the Salford shopping centre, I decided to move on to the other shopping centres, sometimes doing quick studies with watercolour and using wax resist to draw out the figures first. These shopping centres included Bury, Stockport and Bolton. My next focus was Manchester Arndale, one of the large new shopping complexes that was starting to take over the country. Here, at the time, it was all covered in, quite a dark place, but you still found people enjoying the cafes, shopping and general relaxing. Here, I also started to do some very large paintings for exhibitions, as well as the small studies which I'd been doing before. These were quite a series. As the series progressed, I also found myself focusing on the way people moved around these centres using stairways and escalators. As I carried on painting these scenes, I also wanted to experiment with other materials and started using acrylics. Many shopping centres at this time had lost all their individual shops, and I found that by putting plain backgrounds on, reflected the idea that any town you went to, the shops were the same. There was no difference in Stockport, Bolton or Manchester anymore. They'd lost their identity. Smaller paintings, a lot less finished, but still capturing the moment around Eccles, Salford and other areas. Some of these are worked up into more detailed finished paintings, others left quite rough virtual illustrations of the scene. About this time I was also experimenting with digital drawing, first with a Samsung tablet and later with an iPad. This allowed me to work on dark nights when it wasn't possible to paint in the studio, and also to give me some reference material which I could later possibly convert into oil or acrylic paintings. Some of these I even had printed on aluminium and framed so that they were an artwork in their own right. Another unexpected experience was the fact that I broke a bone in my leg and was home for 4 weeks and needed something to paint. To fill the time, I started to use some of my old reference material of Cityscapes and also that of a friend, and I did a series of paintings based on Manchester, mainly at night and using bright colours. I sometimes wonder if these colour changes were the fact that television was becoming a lot brighter and more colourful, and this reflected in my work. As well as personal issues, world issues recently affected what I was able to paint. COVID-19, the pandemic, where everyone was restricted, meant that I had to find ways of coping, and one way that I coped, like many people, was with my paintings. Regarding restrictions, at times when I was allowed to get out I was able to capture how local people were coping with this and how society was coping. And these are reflected in the quick paintings I did, mainly in acrylic wash and pen and ink. And these are saved as a testament of this hard time and the way people survived. Continuing my artistic journey, although I still do other things like holidays and landscapes, I always return back to my cityscapes. These feature Salford, Eccles, Manchester, even Liverpool at times. And I think I will continue to do these as I'm still inspired by these types of images and these places. They are a constant source of inspiration for me, and I find new ways to paint them and new parts of the city and places to interest me, and I honestly think I will continue to capture these images and the people in these cities. I hope you've enjoyed my artistic journey from the last 50 years, capturing the cityscapes and people from the northwest and area. Please feel free to visit my website to see my other styles of painting. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.